And you're all interested in something else, and I can't divide this farm up in pieces like a pie. And I don't want to see it sold off in pieces either. I'm telling you that much. Hey. Hey.
Hi.
How was the wedding?
The wedding, it was real nice, very pretty. Here's some cake for you. I brought some cake for one of you. Hey, you plowed up the fields along the road. It looks great.
What do you think?
Yeah, real nice.
Thanks, good. Listen, I'm going to get cleaned up before Lily gets here, okay?
Leave the mess in the bathroom. We're having company. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was, it was interesting. You know what I kept thinking about, though, all the way through that ceremony was that one of these days, some lucky guy's going to come around here and sweep you right off your feet. Yeah, maybe you'll be a rich man, too, and buy up this farm and run it as some sort of hobby, publish your memoirs, and fly all over the world in this
You know
private
something,
jet.
Seth Snyder. I think you had too much punch to drink at that party. I do.
No, I did not. I'm just dreaming. Might as well dream big, huh?
Yeah.
I should never have agreed to drive you into town, Dad. He insisted upon seeing his lawyer alone, and then when I came to pick him up, he was pale as a ghost and gasping for breath.
As usual, Liz exaggerates a little. I was a bit tired after my first day back in the real world.
Well, you shouldn't overdo, Uncle Jared. But it was nice to see you getting out of the house again.
Oh, why does my niece understand better than my daughter? Did Diva call?
I talked to Iva, and I told her you'd call her later.
But not before he's had a chance to rest. Now, Daddy, I'm going to have Mrs. Daniels send you up some broth, and then you can get to bed early.
I don't want any broth. What I'd like is a Manhattan cocktail with 2 cherries.
I didn't know people still drank Manhattans.
Liz's mother and I used to have them on special occasions. Yes, that's what I'd like tonight.
Well, Dad, I'm only going to agree to this if you promise me that you'll have some broth first, and then get to bed right away.
Not on your life. I'm going to shower. I'm going to change, then I'm going downstairs and have dinner. But first, I'm going to have a Manhattan cocktail with 2 cherries.
Oh, you see how he is? He has been impossible ever since that scheming little tramp showed up on our doorstep.
That's very unfair, Liz.
Is it? While Dad was at Bradford's office today, I went to see that detective I had look into Iva's background. I hate to think how Dad's going to feel when he finds out that Iva gave birth to an illegitimate child at the age of 13, which she gave up for adoption. And then she held a series of odd jobs, including modeling for some questionable publications. She was the mistress to a married man named Tad Shannon, and the prime suspect in his murder investigation.
I can't believe you did that, Liz.
I had to do that to protect Daddy. Now, she is only after his money. I know that he went to change his will today, and I am not about to let that happen.
You know who you remind me of? Kirk. Those are the very same scheming tactics he would have used. And there's nothing worse you could do in my eyes than to stoop to the level of a Kirk Anderson.
Wife showed up. I didn't even bat an eyelash. I worked up the courage to leave them alone here to get them a cup of tea.
What was she doing there?
Well, she's going to be modeling for one of Tonio's clients. Tonio's not exactly in the shape to do anything out of line, so I can't congratulate myself too loudly.
Well, Meg, it's a beginning, you know, and maybe it's a changing point for the 2 of you.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Well, I'll talk to you soon. You have a good night with Spence.
I will if he ever gets here. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hi.
Hi.
Thought we'd start out with some wine right here. Went out to buy this stuff, but the glasses are compliments of Rosa. She's coming down. She's bringing some snacks down, too.
You have really captured her heart, I gotta tell you.
Well, I wish I could say the same for some other women.
You know, there was a time there when I thought you were gonna give Holden some stiff competition for Lily.
That shows what a bad detective you are, huh?
Well, you did like her. I know that. What happened?
Pain from a cut lip and bruised ribs, remember?
You didn't fight back Holden because of your brother, right?
I don't really want to talk about Richie tonight.
Okay, sorry.
What should we drink to?
How about we drink to you telling me more about that girl in South Dakota? I know it still bothers you. Beau's away, and we have the whole night to talk. I think it might help.
Okay.
This cider is just delicious, and I thank you for my grand tour. I think you have found the closest thing to paradise I've ever seen.
Beautiful, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Seth, Ivan Kirk told me that you had your first novel published, and now you're working on another?
That's right.
Wow, that is quite an achievement. I really hope to read Sabrina when I get back to Boston.
Well, I've got some copies here. I'll bring one down so you can read it on the plane.
Oh, thank you. I'd love that.
It's half price at all the bookstores, but the next one's going to be a real big bestseller.
Really? What's it about? Or are you one of those authors who doesn't like to talk about his work until it's finished?
No, I don't mind. It's about Iva giving up Lily when she was a baby and then finding her again. And now that she found out that Jared Carpenter is her real father, I think it's going to make the story more interesting.
Well, yes, it certainly will.
Yeah. So let me get that book for you now before I forget.
Oh, thank you. You have got to tell Iva the truth about Lenore.
Look, I told Spence the plan with Lily was off. I gave Caleb money to pay back Lucinda. That's as far as I can go. Haven't you seen Iva with Lily enough to know why?
Hello?
Yes, she is. Can I tell her who's calling?
Yes, this is Jared Carpenter.
Well, it's good to finally talk to you. This is her brother, Caleb. Hold on, I'll get her for you. It's your father, Iva.
Oh. Hello, I'm so glad you called. Lily's here, and I want to put her on the phone.
I'd love to talk to Lily. But first, I think you might be interested to know I'm sitting here enjoying a Manhattan cocktail with 2 cherries, and later I'm going down to dinner in the dining room.
It sounds like you're feeling better.
And today I went into the town of Southampton for the first time in months. And I have you to thank for it, Iva. And I want you to know that over dinner tonight, I'm finalizing my plans with Lenore to come to Luther's Corners.
Oh, great, great. He's definitely coming here with Lenore.
To explain in front of Meg.
Why?
I didn't realize at first that you were Meg's husband, but when I did, I ran a second test today to be certain before talking with you.
Is my condition more serious than you originally thought?
No, actually, it has to do with Meg's condition.
Oh, hey, Joe, how's the ambulance business going?
Moving right along. How's your husband?
Great. I'm going to take him home tomorrow.
Hey, that's terrific.
Yeah. I was just, wondering, where exactly at the Lakeview Towers did you pick him up the other night?
Well, he was in the hall, right outside the suite of a gorgeous model named Isabella, something like that.
Here, here's your coats, guys.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Father, would you like us to make some snacks? Because I can make that herb and cheese if you like some.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe. Here, can I help you want some?
No, thanks. I gotta use the phone to call myself.
I want one. Sure, help yourself. Yeah, you'll have it.
Thank you very much.
Can we get another
Why doesn't everyone just kick your shoes off and relax? I'm gonna go check on my boy.
Okay.
I hope you don't mind me asking everyone over here after Gran and Mac left, but the reception was thinning out. I thought, hey.
Well, darling. Besides, it's a family occasion, okay? I'm just thrilled that Barbara and Hal chose not to show up.
Hey, you and me. Well.
I'll get it.
Oh, thank you.
Hi. Hi, how you doing? We heard the party moved over here. Huh?
Pretty thirsty tonight, aren't you?
Blame it on Rosa's hors d'oeuvres. You gotta wash these things down with something.
Is that the only reason?
What do you mean?
Well, you just seemed a little bit jumpy tonight ever since I asked you to talk about that girl in South Dakota.
I don't know if I'm up to that tonight. I was just kind of hoping for a nice, relaxing evening with you.
Yeah, I just thought it would make you feel better. Because last time we talked about your brother, you know, you told me it made you feel a lot better.
I don't want to talk about it. It's a lot different.
Okay. All right, I just want you to know, though, that I am here for you if you feel like talking, okay?
Thanks.
Listen, I'm starving. Why don't we get going? Why don't we go?
Hey, what's the rush? At least let me finish my wine first.
All right, but I'm driving, okay?
What's the matter, Pam? You scared?
Of you? Of course not.
Most girls might be. Knowing 2 people were dead because of the guy you're here all alone with.
Well, I'd like to think that I'm not most girls.
Yeah, you sure are. Stables. In just a minute. It's Meg Reyes.
Meg?
Hi, I'm sorry to bother you again. I just didn't know who else to talk to.
What's wrong?
I just found out something terrible about Tonio, and I don't know how to handle it.
Even though I know this is a very sensitive subject, I feel the only way I can deal with this is to come straight to the point.
Look, Dr. Hartley, I want you to be completely honest with me.
Knowing Meg and knowing Meg's expecting a baby makes this all the more difficult to say to you.
Why?
Mr. Reyes, based on 2 separate tests I've run, plus a thorough examination, it is my opinion that you are infertile.
I don't understand.
What I'm trying to say is, in your present condition, there is no way you could have impregnated your wife.
Thanks. Listen, will you do me a favor? Would you not drink so much? Please?
I did the same thing that night. It all went wrong with Jenny, too.
I hate to greet and run, but I'm going to go check on my little man upstairs.
Hey, we give our best to the little guy.
I will.
You know, some reason I thought we'd find you here.
Where else would I be?
What can I get you to drink?
I don't know what you got.
We have everything. Leanne's in the kitchen making some snacks.
You know, we really weren't going to stay. We were going to have dinner over at the Mona Lisa. We just came by to tell everyone what a wonderful wedding it was.
Yeah, hon, I'm really not that hungry. What do you say we ditch the Mona Lisa and hang out with these guys for a while, huh?
Good idea. Why don't you do that?
Why don't you do that, Mom, please?
Come on, Mom, please.
Well, I guess I'm outnumbered.
Yes, you are.
Is that a yes?
That's a yes.
Any earth-shattering news?
Could be. Just got a phone call from Jim Berkey.
Wait a second.
He's in California. It's really
You
nice.
know who that is? That's the guy who Tonio would go out to see.
I
Wanted
know,
to get that account.
I've been working on him for years. He's a tough nut to crack.
Excuse me.
Great.
Hey,
Hi.
glad you changed your mind.
Yeah, well, I
Hey,
still need to
man.
go by the office, but I thought I'd bring Roy by so he wouldn't feel so neglected.
I'm glad you got it. Well, I'm still going to miss him just as much, but
I'm glad
it's
you
nice
could
to keep
make
the wedding
it.
spirit alive with friends. Hey,
Can I give you a wine or something?
That'd be great. Wine for me.
Love it.
Look, it's too bad Lila and Casey couldn't come by.
Oh, no. Mama had to put her feet up. You know how women are when they get in that condition.
Yeah, speaking of that condition, Margot, you know, in all the excitement, we never found out where exactly it was in Acros that you gave birth to Adam. Was there a good hospital there?
Yeah, actually, Adam wasn't born in the hospital. But I had a doctor who took care of me during my whole pregnancy that Dr. Samuels recommended him.
Well, I never understood the 2 Greek women you named Adam for. Now, darling, where did they exactly... Well, how did they fit into the picture?
Adam comes from Adamos, Mrs. Locatus' son. He was lost at sea. She helped nurse Craig back to health after the plane crash, and then she and her daughter helped deliver our baby, so Margot thought it was important that we name him Adam, after Adonis.
Independent.
Whatever happened to that other one? Thank you, sir. Right, bye. Jess, can I talk to you for a minute, please?
Well, you look like the cat that bagged the canary. What's going on?
Would you believe what I told you? I think I just bagged the biggest client in my life, somebody I've been after for years. I mean, this could be a biggie.
Oh, Craig, that is great. Congratulations.
Thank you. We got a lot to go over. I need to talk to you. If I'm right, the only person going to be upset about this is Tonio Reyes, and I can be back in the catbird seat.
How can you be so certain that I couldn't have impregnated my wife?
After the initial x-ray showed no damage to the pelvis itself, I decided to do another test to see if there was blood in the seminal fluid. That could have indicated some sort of internal problem that hadn't shown up on the x-ray.
And?
The original test I ran on you showed a very low sperm count. So today, after I examined you, I ran a second sperm test. I found a condition that explains the oligospermia, or low sperm count.
Couldn't this be a result of the beating that I took?
I'm afraid not. It results from a congenital condition called varicocele, an abnormally large blood vessel in the scrotum. It's existed since the day you were born. It's sometimes possible to correct the situation through surgery, but the prognosis is 20 to 30% successful. But there is no way you could have fathered the child Meg is carrying.
Look, Doctor, I would appreciate if this was just kept between us.
Of course. You have no worry on that count.
And since you have been so straightforward with me, I feel it's only fair that I'm honest with you. You see, I'm not really as shocked by this news as you might have expected.
Oh?
Yes, you see, Meg and I were separated for a period of time, and she was with another man. When we decided to try again and get back together, she discovered that she was pregnant, and she told me that the child wasn't mine.
I see. Well, I must say, I feel a bit easier having told you what I did. Well, Meg is a lovely young woman, and if you've accepted the situation as you obviously have, then everything should be fine.
Excuse me. Hello?
This is your last chance, Mr. Reyes. If you want me to say that floundering company of yours, speak up. I said speak up. I can't hear you. Look, I'm only doing this for Emily, who is foolish enough to become your partner. And I'm the only one that can guarantee that Craig won't take it away from you.
Look, I can't talk about that now.
I see. Well, I hope you don't regret that hasty answer. As I said, this was your last chance.
Condition, Mr. Reyes. It might be corrected through surgery, but in the meantime, I'm afraid there is no way you could have impregnated your wife in your present condition.
Damn you, Meg.
Don't go in here. Oh.
What are you two doing here?
James Stenbeck have anything to do with you being in here?
What?
My wife just received a call from James Stenbeck at her office.
Why would that have anything to do with my attack?
Because among other things that he said to me, he told me that he knew all about you being here in this hospital bed.
What other things?
Nothing more about you, darling. Just a lot of Stenbeck gibberish.
Look, you cover up something like this, that it was Stenbeck or one of his henchmen that put you here, and you're not doing yourself or anybody else in this town a favor.
Look, I told you I didn't see who it was that attacked me.
Yeah, the police find out that you are covering this thing up. They're not going to go so lightly on you.
Well, seems I remember you did some covering up for Stenbeck about this time last year.
Darling, I don't know why you're arguing with him. Why you appeal to his better nature? He hasn't got a better nature. Come on, let's go. Let's go see him. Go. Come on.
I doubled the guards as you ordered, Mr. McKechnie. Not Stenbeck nor anyone else will get on this island without someone knowing about it.
Fine, thank you. I'm not being melodramatic when I say that my life very well could depend on it. Thank you, Ernst. That will be all.
You know, there are only two people I've ever actually known you to be afraid of. Lilith and this man, Stenbeck. He must be a monster.
Aye, that he is. I'm not so sure my wife doesn't fall into the same category.
Huh? I thought you were feeling better about Lilith.
Oh, I am. She actually does seem to be going ahead with plans for the divorce, and she seems to be making plans to leave town as well. I just know from bitter experience, the moment I let my guard down, I may live to regret it.
How did you leave things with Shannon?
Oh, well, at least she didn't shriek at me when I followed her to the U's reception. That's little consolation.
Well, perhaps she'll come around in time. After the divorce is final, and after Lilith leaves town.
I doubt it. I invited her up here for dinner to try and explain things in depth, but she just said that she'd call me if and when she felt like hearing any more stories about Lilith. There are too many memories of Shannon in this room. I want the door sealed up with cement.
Duncan.
That's an order.
I used to live here, you know. I mean, I don't need...
Sir, this lady just came ashore despite our repeated warnings, and she insists on seeing you.
You sure don't want to come along while Jessica and I go over the final figures one more time before I lower the old boom?
No, I better not. I should stay. But I am anxious to hear what Jessica has to say, so you tell me right away, please.
And I wouldn't be at this point. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll go getting it. Hey, forget it.
Look, Roy, I'll be right back, so try not to wear out the carpet while I'm gone, okay?
Look, sweetie, can't this thing with Craig wait until the morning? Huh?
Roy, if you had been there when Tonio swooped down and stole the business from Sierra with the help of James Stenbeck, then you'd understand what a thrill it is for me to help Craig get it back.
She's right, Roy. I guess I feel like I'm vindicating Sierra in some small way.
Well, in that case, if Jessica can help you pull it together, then I say, heck, go for it.
Thank you. Listen, I'm not being too selfish dragging you away from this party.
Oh, not at all. Are you kidding? I'm as excited as you are about it.
We're out of here, folks. Bye.
Okay. Oh, bye.
See you later.
You know, I thought I detected a familiar flash in your eye at that moment, but I'm glad to see you got a handle on it.
Got a handle on it. Hey, look, it ain't easy, especially with Craig with his hands all over Jessica like he's, I don't know, intent.
Roy, that's just the way Craig is around women, you know? He likes to touch them. Doesn't mean he's on the make for them. That make you feel better?
Nice surprise.
Oh, we had no idea that you were having a party.
Will you get in? This is a family gathering after the wedding. Come in. Give me a hug.
Good evening. Good evening. Hello, Emily. Was that Craig's car that we saw driving away? Yes, he had some business to take care of with Jessica. Ah, well, business. Craig is always business first, except, of course, when Sierra was with him. Have you given any thought or taken any action on my business proposition? No, I didn't, because I'm not really sure what it was. Gosh, I thought I was so specific. I mean, I'm offering you a position in my management trainings division so that I can find the right slot for you at Walsh Enterprises. Isn't that a good idea? It sounds interesting, but I think I'm going to wait on that. I'm expecting another offer. Oh, I hope it's not from Craig.
Right now.
I think we ought to tell everybody why we dropped by.
Yes, dear. Tom, Margot, John thinks it's terribly important that I let you all know. I had a telephone call this evening in my office from James Stenbeck. What? And he sounded as if he was just around the corner. Not again.
What did he say to you?
Well, dear, he just went on and on about how he was going to get even with me and anybody else in this town that he wanted to settle scores with.
Do you have any idea where he was calling from?
No, Barbara, I don't. Although he's quite au courant with everything that's going on. He knew how your business was doing. He knew that John had been in Greece with Margot and the baby.
What exactly did he say about the baby?
About the baby? Not too much. He knows the baby's named Adam. He knows that you two are moving out of here and into the Benson house.
Well, I guess his contact certainly is keeping him well informed.
Yeah. Well, if he's got a contact, then I think you should definitely go and question Tonio Reyes, because maybe James or the contact had something to do with the beating.
That makes sense. You know, Meg is very jumpy. Every time you mention what happened, she gets very hyper.
What do you expect? Her husband's been beaten, she's pregnant. Wouldn't you be hyper?
Being married to Tonio would make anyone hyper.
Meg, maybe we better talk somewhere else.
No, it's okay. I've actually been coming here a lot since Shannon started to work. Keeps me in touch with why I've been trying so hard to make my marriage work. I just wanted everything to be perfect before the baby is born. I guess things don't always work out the way you plan.
Meg, you told me that Tonio lied to you the night he was attacked. What did you mean?
Yeah, I just accidentally ran into one of the ambulance guys who picked him up, Joe. He told me Tonio was outside of Isabella's suite. at the Lakeview Towers. I know he's been having an affair with her, just like he did with Emily.
Meg, maybe he had just arrived outside the door when he was attacked. Huh?
I know who attacked him. And now I know why.
You know who?
It was Josh.
Josh?
Yeah. Yeah, he told me that he started the fight for no reason at all that never made any sense to me. Now I know he knew that Tonio was at Isabella's suite. He went and he confronted Tonio, and that's what started the fight.
Meg, maybe you should find out from Josh if that was true.
I can't! He's gone to Kansas! I tried to call Aunt Elizabeth as soon as I got off the phone with you. But he's not there. She doesn't know when he's gonna be there. But I know in my heart that's what happened. And he took the blame for it because he didn't want to hurt me. And Tonio let him. Not only that, but he tried to use it to convince me that Josh was worthless.
What are you gonna do now?
I don't have a choice. I'm gonna get myself together before Tonio gets back here. I'm leaving him. It'll be wonderful having you home again. From here on in, we're gonna work at our marriage, make it better before our first son is born.
Hello, Tonio.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I didn't know you were getting out of here so soon. Oh, gosh.
So I can finish getting dressed.
Oh, this won't take long, amigo. But before you go waltzing out of here, making big plans for the future, I think there's a few things you want to know first, all right?
Craig.
I'm gonna let Jessica talk for me, though, because, you know, she's my lawyer. And you and I got this hostility thing gets in the way of a logical conversation, so.
Tonio, this is the last report we've gotten on Sierra's royalties from Montgomery and Associates.
Yes, and every one of those reports has been 100% accurate.
Whoa, simmer down now. We're not here to question their accuracy.
Then what?
Well, based on this latest report, I've come up with an estimate of the current worth of the business.
And based on those figures, she has decided...
Craig.
Sorry, I'm real sorry.
And based on those figures, Craig is prepared to buy the business back as soon as the bank opens tomorrow morning.
You don't have enough money.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Well, even if you have some money, the price of this company has gone up quite a bit since that report was mailed to Sierra.
Gosh, you know, I'm having trouble believing that based on what I've heard. But, you know, maybe that could be true. And even if it is true, I'm prepared to buy back the company you stole from my wife, no matter what.
So typical of you to waltz in here with your lawyer and bother me while I'm in my hospital.
Tonio, we just wanted to give you fair warning so that you could prepare yourself.
You know, you didn't look so sick when we walked in here. You're getting all dressed up, ready to boogie on out the door. But, you know, have you noticed he is looking a little paler now?
Get out.
Craig, I think we're finished.
Oh, one more thing. Just make sure you get those papers prepared tomorrow by noon. Because I'm not waiting a minute longer. That goes for me. That goes for Sierra. That's a hell of a lot more warning than you ever gave her.
Craig.
What the hell am I going to do now?
This is your last chance to save your business, Tonio. If you're fool enough to say no, I won't be calling back.
If I'd only left Tonio while Josh was still here.
Well, you know Josh is going to come right back here the minute he finds out.
No, I can't let him find out.
Why not?
Because I've done too much to keep Josh from having a life of his own already.
Meg, did it ever occur to you that maybe Josh wants you to be a part of that life of his?
I don't know what to think anymore.
Okay. You don't have to make any decisions tonight, okay? The important thing is you just get your stuff together and you get out of here. I will drive you over to the farm, okay?
No, I gotta think of something to tell the family or Seth and Caleb are gonna come after Tonio and kill him.
What do you care what happens to Tonio now?
Oh, I know. But I'm not looking for revenge. He's just the way he is. I just can't live with it anymore.
Okay, but you're not going to stay here alone tonight, Meg, okay?
No, I'm not. As soon as I think of a story and I finish packing, I'll call Seth and Caleb and I'll get them to come pick me up.
Meg, I think the important thing is for you to get out of here. Seth and Caleb can come and get your stuff another time.
No, I want to get everything out of here now. Because once Tonio finds out I'm leaving him and I'm forced to tell him why, I'm not going to want to come back here. I'm going to leave all the jewelry because it's just a reminder of how strange my values were when I first married him. Oh, come on, I've kept you too long from Spence. You go on, I'm okay. Honest, I'm all right.
Okay. I will call you tomorrow morning at the farm.
Okay.
And if you need anybody to be there for you, when you talk to Tonio, you just call me, okay?
Thanks. I just might. There's no telling how he's going to take this.
Yeah, I know. I remember those bruises you left on your arm a little while ago.
Hey, you're the only one I ever told about that. I don't know, maybe if I told some... Nah, no use dwelling on it. Now you just get out of here. Oh, I had so many plans for this room. As a home for my first baby. But I know he'll be happier and safer someplace else.
Adelaide, would you like some more coffee?
Oh, thank you, Caleb. I would.
Is that too strong now?
No, it's wonderful.
And this is my Meg.
Oh, yes. And who's the handsome young man on the right?
Oh, isn't he handsome? That's my son, Holden. He's away in Europe now on a business trip.
Oh, yes. I've heard a lot about him.
From whom?
Oh, well, from Kirk and Lucinda. They've mentioned him a couple of times and said what a rising young executive he is.
Seems like the two guys who've been important in my life have turned out to be real whizzes in business. Probably turn out just like Kirk someday.
I hope that's not a put down.
Oh, no. Not meant to be one. Let's face it, I'm not exactly fond of business. I can't understand it.
Well, you should learn something about it, because one day the entire Walsh Empire is going to be yours.
Fat chance. Maybe by that time, Dusty will be a big businessman. He can take over for me. I don't like to think of those things, though, because Lucinda will never step down from her empire.
I know. It's not pleasant to think on those things, you know, but, sweetheart, sometimes things like that are inevitable. Caleb had the same reaction earlier when I was talking about my will.
Well, I don't blame him. I think of you as being as eternal as this land that you've always lived.
I am. I'm the mama. I'm never going to die. I'm going to be here forever. But, just in case I do, I really hope that you children understand that I don't want this farm sold off in pieces. I don't want it divided up in little pieces. I want to keep my beautiful woods and my pond just the way it is. Forever and ever and ever for generations of Snyders to come. And that's my dream.
Well, I'm going to make sure that your dream is a reality, Mama.
Me
too. Oh, let me get that. Let me get that. Hello? Oh, hi, Meg. No, he's not. Seth isn't here. He's over at Betsy's grandparents' house. Yeah, how's Meg, what's wrong? Have you been...
Happy I was to see you come in here with Ernst. In fact, I was ecstatic.
Well, Duncan, don't get the wrong idea. I just got a little sentimental after the wedding reception, and I went home and thought about your offer to talk, and, well, of course, my curiosity got the better of me. I certainly didn't expect to be nabbed, though, right after I got off the dock and dragged in here like a prisoner of war.
I'm sorry about that. It's part of the new security I put in because of Lilith escaped from the sanitarium, and now I've heard that Stenbeck is in the area.
It's funny, Uncle Earl just flew off because of a rumor about Stenbeck.
Do you know where he went?
No, I don't. But he's not the detective he's pretending to be these days. I mean, he's just a reporter. But I didn't come here to talk about James Stenbeck.
Ah.
Here's your tea, Shannon.
Oh, thank you, Trace.
Do you know, I wish you'd change that to wine, so that maybe you could stay for dinner.
No, tea will be fine, thank you. At least I think it's safe to drink this.
Teresa, would you be kind enough to tell Shannon that the story I concocted about our being lovers was merely a ruse to keep her away from here because of Lilith?
Don't put words in her mouth.
Well, it's true. I swear it. Duncan and I have never been lovers.
You know, I'd like Ernst and Tobias here so that they can confirm certain things about Lilith.
No, Duncan, that's not necessary.
I insist. Teresa, would you fetch them for me, please?
Certainly, of course.
You. Listen, I know that my credibility with you is at a very low ebb. So since Teresa is a trained psychiatric nurse and Tobias was Dr. Silvestri's assistant at the sanitarium while Lilith was a patient there, they can help corroborate my story.
Well, even if they do, Duncan, it won't automatically change my feelings for you.
I know that. And whether or not you ever trust me again, it's important to me that you know that what I did was simply my misguided way of trying to protect you. Fine, Ernst, we'll start with you, and so you can get back to work. Would you kindly tell Miss O'Hara why I hired you and your guards to come here?
Well, actually, I recommended Ernst when Duncan was looking for a head security guard.
Well, that's correct. Mr. McKechnie wanted to make sure his wife Lilith never set foot on the island without his knowing about it.
And were there instructions regarding Miss O'Hara?
Oh, yes, sir. We were told if Miss O'Hara ever came to the island, we were to discourage her because you felt it was unsafe for her to be here.
Thank you, Ernst. That will be all. Tobias, would you tell Miss O'Hara about your experiences with Lilith while you were at the sanitarium in Portugal?
She was admitted the day after her marriage to Duncan. Dr. Silvestri did an immediate psychological evaluation and classified her psychotic, a danger to herself and anyone else whom she thought posed a threat to her.
Tell her about the wedding night.
Duncan, please, I told you I don't want to hear about that night.
Fine, we'll skip that for now.
Anyway, Lilith was Dr. Silvestri's prize patient, and he claimed that right up until the time that she escaped, she was very dangerous and would inflict grave harm on herself if Duncan ever tried to divorce her.
I might add that Dr. Silvestri was found murdered in a cave not far from the sanitarium shortly after Lilith's escape. So you see, no one knows if Lilith is cured, as she claims, or if she's the possible killer of Dr. Silvestri.
And why would I be in danger?
Because if Lilith isn't cured, then anyone whom Duncan is truly fond of would be her natural enemy.
But I would think that the fact that Lilith is filing for divorce and she's about to leave town would be proof enough that if she did have a psychotic obsession with Duncan, that it would be all over.
But we can't know that until she's actually gone. Or until we find Dr. Silvestri's manuscript, which would either confirm or deny Lilith's story.
Well, I, for one, have never had any reason to fear Lilith, and I don't want to start being paranoid now.
They're out of the white wine.
John felt it was very important.
No, thank you. See, where's Andrew?
Oh, well, he decided to stay home with Franny. They were going to help Carrie take care of the children.
Yes, Dr. Dixon. Andy worked very hard as the official wedding photographer, and I'm sure he took some wonderful pictures.
I hope so. Difficult for him, I guess, with all the toasting and drinking going on, though, huh?
Oh, I don't think so. He was so excited about Mac and my mother getting married, he just had a great time.
Oh, good. Good.
Excuse me.
Sure.
He is sacked out, absolutely out to the world.
Well, I just guess he just had such a big day, you know, at his great-grandmother's wedding. Yeah. He was just worn out.
Do you think that's what it is?
I'm sure he did.
Wedding, huh? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Right.
Good news, I guess.
Yes.
What happened?
Plenty.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention for a second? I have an announcement. This is selfish, but I'm going to do it anyway. Jessica and I just left the hospital after a brief meeting with Tonio Reyes to tell him that we're buying back my business tomorrow morning.
Oh,
Thank you. That's not all. That's not all. Not all. I've also asked Jessica to draw up papers to make this lovely young lady an equal partner with Holden and I in the new and improved Montgomery & Associates.
Craig, oh my, thank you. Well, Lucinda, I won't be able to take you up on your offer.
Damn. And probably won't be back anyway, so who cares if I pass out? First good night's sleep I had since that night in South Dakota.
Spence, please, you've had too much to drink. It scares me.
Maybe if you hadn't been so scared, it wouldn't have happened.
Talking to yourself again?
You came back. I was sure you wouldn't.
Hey, why don't you put this down? And, why don't I go up to the house and have Rosa make us some coffee, okay?
No, don't go. Don't go. I'm feeling great. Coffee'd only bring me down. Let's go grab some dinner.
I don't think you should go anywhere in this condition.
Can't you forget you're a nurse just for 5 seconds and loosen up a little?
I think that you are loose enough for the both of us. I could smell that alcohol the minute I walked in this room.
Spence, don't. I can smell the liquor on your breath.
What's the matter? Why are you staring at me like that?
I'm just a little mixed up.
I can see that, which is why I think coffee is in order.
Coffee's not going to change how I feel about you, Jenny.
Spence, I'm going to have Matthew come down with some coffee, and we're going to call it a night. So let me go.
Spence, no, let go of me.
You want me just as much as I want you. Why not admit it?
No, Spence!
You're coming and listening to the stories about Lilith.
Well,
only wish I could say that I was less confused now that I've heard them.
I wish I could truly be sure that she was cured and no longer a threat. I know how clever she can be, which makes her all the more dangerous. So help me. If I knew that she was still truly psychotic, I would lock her up again. I would do away with her rather than risk her harming you.
Well, you know, Duncan, it's not Lilith's mental condition that's confusing me. It's trying to adjust all the lies you told me. I mean, even if they were for my own good, they were still lies.
But Shannon, believe me, they were for you.
Wait, I think we've gone as far as we can for tonight, all right? I'd really like to go home now.
Fine, I'll escort you to the mainland.
No, that's really not necessary.
I'm going anyway, I promise. If you like, I won't even say a thing. I'm going to escort Miss O'Hara to the mainland. I may stop by and see Lilith, try and get a reading on how she's feeling. If I'm going to stay any longer, I'll give you a call.
Very well. Good night, Shannon. So nice to see you again.
Tobias, would you escort us down to the dock?
You can come out now, Ernst. Well, what did you hear?
Not much. Miss O'Hara was giving Duncan a hard time, though.
Oh, good. Good. Now, I want you to keep your eyes and ears open and report everything to me, just as you've been doing since you came here.
When do we move on to the important work in the big box? Being head guard is boring.
Yes, soon, I'm sure. Now run along. The coast is finally clear, thank heavens. Well, I couldn't wait another moment to hear your voice.
Why, yes, darling. I've been anxious to hear your voice as well. Now, things are going just as planned, thanks to your excellent information, which makes me love you and want to be with you all the more.
His face was priceless. I wish you could have been there. I should have brought up all already.
I wish I could have been there, too. Craig, I cannot believe you made me a full partner.
Come on, you deserve it. You sort of knew I was going to do it anyway, didn't you? Come on, Holden's going to be a little awkward about it, but he'll get over it.
What do you think Tonio's going to do now?
Oh, I don't know. Die after the shock we just gave him.
Oh, great.
I certainly don't think that you can accuse Craig of using Emily any longer.
Oh, darling.
Don't be so naive. Craig is as delightfully devious as ever.
I know. That's not my life.
Well, I think this is the night that he's going to sleep through the night.
Oh, maybe you and I finally get a minute to ourselves.
Well, you guys deserve a minute to yourselves. We'd hope to be able to see him for a little while, but if he's tired, that's okay, because we're tired, and so we're going to go. Thanks for playing. Thanks for everything.
Excuse me.
Night, John.
Night, Bob.
Barbara, darling, we haven't had a chance in such a long time to have a chat.
Well, we've had a chance, Lucinda. There's just nothing to say.
Oh, I don't know about that. You must have realized, as I have, that it's exactly 2 months to the date when you can buy back Simply Barbara, just giving me a check, contractually.
Darling, I wouldn't buy that company back if you gave it to me on a silver platter, now that it's become the laughingstock of the fashion industry. But if you wish to speak about something, Jessica and I will speak to you about buying the factory back now that you no longer need it.
Oh, Barbara, darling, your bad temper is worsening. Can it have anything to do with Adam Hughes? Gotcha. I knew you'd be wondering. You'd be wondering if that baby were Hal's.
Our son's gonna have everything I never had when I was a child. I mean, a fabulous nursery, a trust fund. He'll never have to worry about a thing. Well, you may not grow up in a fancy nursery, sweetheart, but you're gonna have the kind of security that really matters. I'll make sure of that.